morning light. And I love how you feel in the morning light. You start slow and easy, and you finish hard. You start slow and cool, and you finish high. And you're mine, Louisiana woman. And you're my Louisiana morning. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to session 17 of Songwriter Sessions. I'm your host, Barry Chauvin, and I'm coming at you from Houma, Louisiana, Digital Sac-a Lait Productions studio with Pershing Wells. This is a show where we interview songwriters and we get to know them, and I'm very excited to welcome you to the studio today, our guest, Mr. Jeff McCarty. Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you.
All right. And we had to brave the weather, Jeff, to make it here. So bad weather doesn't stop a good songwriter.
Never.
Never. And
not much does.
Yeah. We were talking a little bit in the car, Jeff, and you were telling me how my question in the car was, did you always have music in your life? Did you grow up with music? So you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. My dad was a musician, and my, as far back as I knew, my great-grandmother was a musician. She played the mandolin.
Come on.
And the mouth harp.
Right.
And stuff like that,
And did you know her? Did you hear her?
No, I never met her, unfortunately. I never met her. But my grandfather played music. He played banjo and mandolin.
Right.
And my dad, did all kind of stuff, man. He was a keyboard player and a guitar player. He played on Ricky Nelson's records.
Wow.
And did the Grand Ole Opry. I told you he played with Kitty Wales.
Yeah.
It was probably his first gig when he was like 15 years old.
Right, right.
He did all kinds of cool stuff, So, and then I had two brothers, and one played bass and one played guitar. So it's been a family thing for sure. My whole life.
So you were around it every day.
Yeah, it wasn't like I was like this 15-year-old kid and said, "Hey, I think I want to learn how to play guitar."
Right.
I really didn't have much of a choice. I was kind
of, But my other question in the car was, and I thought this was interesting, was when was your first gig?
My first gig. My first actual paying gig was on Barrow Street at Jack's. That's the name of the place. Yeah,
that's a famous local place here.
Yeah, Jack's Bar. And I was 10 or 11 years old, and I played a gig with my dad on drums.
Come on.
Yeah. And like I told you, I think 10 years old, I was just starting out, so I was learning all these cool licks, and, it's just learn as much as I possibly could. And then I went to the gig and I tried to play every single lick that I knew in every single song. So, and I learned a valuable lesson that night.
Well, that's what this show is about. We're here to teach and other songwriters. So the lesson is don't play every lick you know in every song.
Yes, less is more.
Less is more.
Yeah.
And we were talking about when did you start writing? How did that come to be? Because I know you're a professional musician and you gigged a lot and played a lot of covers, but when did the writing start and how that came to be?
Well, the writing songs and creating original music started with me, I guess when I was about 15 or 16 years old, and I started playing drums in original bands, in original metal bands.
Right.
And that's what sparked the whole creating your own music inside of me. That's where that started. And so even now, after all those bands dissolved or whatever, and I went on to play cover music just to make a living because I don't want to do anything else but play music.
Right.
So, and that's what I do. It's what I was put here to do. So you have to make money. So that, you know, I went into the cover thing. But the whole time I was doing that, I always had this passion and this pull inside of me to create my own music and to have people react to it, good or bad.
Right.
So after I experienced a lot of people close to me passed away in my life and stuff. So that inspired me to really get serious, I guess, about creating my own music. And it's just been a snowball effect, you know, ever since then. I'm really just, you know, I believe in God, and I believe that, you know, I just give it all to Him, man.
And let Him guide you.
Yeah, and I ask Him, I pray about it, and I ask Him to guide me, and I ask Him to show me what He wants me to do. And
well, that's a good way.
And I just kind of go with that.
Right. And you were telling me, and I'm gonna try to quote you. You were saying playing cover songs all those years was both a blessing and a curse for songwriting. And you want to explain that?
For a songwriter, it can be. To me, it's a blessing because you learn all these different genres, especially if you want to be a successful cover artist or whatever you want to call it. If you have to learn the songs like they go.
Right.
A good one of my mentors, Tony Hall, told me, and I'll never forget it. He's like, man, if you know, it's the parts of the song that make the song what it is.
Right.
So you have to learn the song before you go and you do something else to it. But by doing that, you learn that genre better, and you learn how to play. If you go and you learn a funk song, a Parliament song or whatever, for instance, but if you go and you really listen to that song and you really learn what those guys are doing, now you're learning a whole genre of music. You're not just learning that song, you're learning how that genre is performed and produced and why it makes you feel the way it makes you feel.
So He's giving you more tools, more
so
skill sets.
That's the blessing part, but the curse part is when you go and you do all these different kinds of music, well, now you got to figure out what it is you do.
Right. Your own identity.
But you have this big arsenal,
right,
which is the blessing, but the curse is figuring out what to do with it. You know, finding your identity in all that stuff, and it can be difficult to do.
So a scale of 1 to 10, and 10 is Jeff McCarty knows who he is musically and where he is. Where are you in that journey?
That's a good question. I don't know that.
And folks, you will have heard this first today, right here.
Yeah.
That's a tough one, huh?
It is.
I bet certain days you feel like you're further advanced towards that goal, and other days
days not so much.
I'm regressing. Well, I think as songwriters, that's what happens.
But you know what?
Sometimes you write something really cool.
That push and pull is good because
Right.
it's inspiration for me,
right.
you know?
Right.
So you almost have to have that.
I think so.
You know?
Yeah, and I think it's that tension that creates the art. You know, it's because you're trying to communicate something from that,
exactly. You know? But for me, I guess I'm still searching a little. Not as much as I was. Like, from my first record, I think that's why, like, my first record is kind of, to me, it's kind of all over the place. Like, it has, like, this funk tune on it, and then it has, like, this new country-ish kind of sounding tune, and then it has, like, you know, these cool ballads. Like, I like all the songs, but I would like for my music to be a little more cohesive.
Right.
So I guess that's what it's about. It's about figuring out what you want and setting goals and moving forward to try to achieve those goals, just like anything else, I guess, you know? So that's where I'm at.
So I think the song you're going to play for us today is truly who you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's from the heart, from the soul.
It comes from a real place.
It's a real place, and it's real, and it really connects with people. Yeah. You know, I've heard you play it for folks.
Yeah, and, man. You know,
I bet you've gotten a lot of response from people on that song.
I have, and you know what? My favorite response to that song is, you know, I've been all over the country now. and playing that song for
Right.
people. And man, the coolest thing is at the end of the show or whatever, and I'm just hanging around shaking hands, signing CDs or whatever.
Right.
And, you know, man, I've had this happen more than 10 times. People come up to me with tears in their eyes.
Yeah.
You know, they just lost someone close to them, or they lost someone 10 years ago. And it makes you
Right.
think about that person and think
Exactly.
about, you know, those things. So to me, that's
what it's about.
it's so rewarding.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes, that's more than the money.
Yeah, and they come up and they tell me thank you, you know, for writing that song, and
Right.
you know, so
Great.
yeah,
All right.
man.
Well, then I'm gonna get off camera and we're gonna rearrange the mics a little bit, and you play that song for us.
All right, be
All
my
right,
pleasure.
man. Sounds good. Thank you.
Time rolls on, and rivers they flow, and I'll always love you. More than you know. So angel fly on home. In his arms, you'll never be alone. 'Cause nothing can hurt you anymore. 'Cause your ship has finally reached the shore. Angel fly. Oh, in my life, I've seen heartache and pain. Over your memory, babe. Will never be in vain. Oh, no, no. So angel fly on home. In his arms, you'll never be alone. 'Cause nothing can hurt you anymore. Your ship has finally reached the shore. Angel fly. Fly on home. In his arms, you'll never be alone. 'Cause nothing can hurt you, can hurt you anymore. 'Cause your ship has finally reached the shore. You finally reached the shore. Nothing can hurt you anymore.
But Jeff, I'm like all those other people. That song resonates with me. You know, you don't get to be a certain age without losing people in your life, and it just speaks to you. And it's got to be a great feeling as a songwriter that you could create a work of art like that touches people.
Yeah, it is, man. It
Great.
is. Like I said, it's a tune that comes from a real place, you know. And I think if you write music that comes from a real place, you're gonna touch somebody.
It will touch people.
Know?
It will touch people. So, where can people find your music? Where?
You can find my music on iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, all the digital outlets, and you can buy the actual CD either at a show or at Whiskey Bayou Records.com. You can go there and order it.
And we can't end this show without congratulating on being the lead for Louisiana LaRue now.
Yeah, man.
Come on, that's got to be cool.
It's very cool, and those guys are so awesome, man. They're
I know
crazy.
they're excited to have you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a little bit younger than them.
Yeah.
And so, I feel like a kid.
Yeah.
I'm overwhelmed with that whole idea.
Yeah, but
much less being on the stage with those guys.
Keep doing it, man. Keep doing it. That is so cool.
I mean, Tony Hazelton, man, he's got #1 hits out there, man.
That's right.
And he's such a nice guy. I love that guy.
Yeah.
But and the rest of them too,
Yeah, it's a good sound, and I know you play with a lot of local musicians. You play with my son Matthew. You play with my son-in-law Josh, and a lot of folks. And I was at your show the other night at Big Mike's Barbecue. Man, y'all just blew the crowd away. That was just you, Matthew, and Seth, and just really good sound.
It was fun, man.
Good
barbecue there, too.
It was good barbecue. I plugged that for Big Mike's.
Yeah.
All right, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And this is session 17, and we're making plans now for that next session. So be sure and subscribe and then hit that bell icon, and you'll get notified of our next sessions. And with that said, Jeff, what we're going to do, we're going to roll the credits, and you'll play a little bit more of your song so folks can hear a little bit more about it as we end up. But thanks for coming, man. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right. Thank you.
So angel fly on home. In his arms, you'll never be alone. 'Cause nothing can hurt you, can hurt you anymore. 'Cause your ship has finally reached the shore.